Okay, so let's jump right in. Today we are doing a deep dive into a single, just utterly magical narrative, the classic tale known as The Flight of the Ebony Horse.
It's such a fantastic story. It works on so many levels.
It really does, and we're not just, summarizing it. We're trying to extract the real thematic gold, looking at how magic, deceit, and of course true love all intersect in this incredible adventure.
At its core, it's a quintessential quest narrative. But the engine driving that quest is this amazing piece of magical engineering,
And the whole thing kicks off not in some dark forest, but in the really vibrant court of the King of Yemen. We start at the annual celebration of Nowruz.
which is key. Now, Nowruz is this major spring festival, a time of renewal. But for this king, it's also a time to indulge his real passion, collecting wonders.
He invites sages, inventors, sorcerers, you name it, from all over the world.
Exactly. And this tradition, it just sets the stage for incredibly high stakes. The king loves the spectacle, and he rewards it lavishly.
So our mission today, for you, is to track the journey of Prince Kamar al-Zaman. He starts out as this very protective, suspicious figure.
A moral conscience, almost.
Right. But he's quickly thrown into an adventure that forces him to become a hero. And it's all thanks to this one incredible object.
Well, let's start with the lineup at the feast. It's important to see what the ebony horse was actually up against.
Good point. So before the main event, we had two other major offerings. First, a sage from India brought a golden parasol.
Sounds practical.
Very. The narrative says it casts perfect shade even in the fiercest sun. Useful in a place like Yemen, I'd imagine.
So, simple, elegant technology for comfort. Then you have the sage from Rum.
Yeah, he offered something a bit more aggressive. A brazen trumpet.
And this wasn't just loud. Its sound was explicitly designed to strike absolute terror into an enemy army.
A weapon of psychological warfare, basically.
Exactly. Both impressive gifts.
For sure. But neither of them really prepared the court for what the third contender, the Persian sage, brought in.
The ebony horse.
This is where the tale just pivots straight into high fantasy.
And the text gives us such vivid detail. It's carved from ebony, black as midnight. Its eyes are these deep, genuine rubies. The mane is finest silk. And the key detail.
It could stand on air, motionless.
It just defies gravity. It's a fundamental alteration of reality.
We get the demonstration, right? The sage gets on, turns a little peg, and the horse just rises, circles the palace 3 times, and then lands as softly as a feather.
The king is, well, he's mesmerized. He immediately declares it the greatest gift he's ever seen and tells the sage to name his price.
And this is the first real conflict. The price isn't gold or land.
No, it's marriage to the king's daughter, Princess Shams-al-Nar.
And you have to wonder, what does that say about the king? He values this carving, this technology, more than his own daughter.
That's the critique of the king right there. He's so consumed by the wonder of the thing that the human cost just doesn't register. He agrees immediately.
Which brings in Prince Kamar al-Zaman. He objects.
He looks at this marvel, and all he sees is danger. He calls it worked by sorcery.
He is instantly suspicious, and he insists on testing it himself before his sisters just hand it over. It's a move that actually establishes him as protective and cautious.
Traits that are about to save his life. Because his suspicion is completely justified. This is where the deception starts.
It's just simple misinformation. The prince gets on the horse, ready to test it, and the sage gives him totally false instructions for the controls.
A complete lie. He tells the prince, turn the right peg to go up and the left peg to go down.
Such a simple, tiny piece of deceit.
But it's the inciting incident. It guarantees the prince goes up, but makes it impossible for him to come back down. He's been tricked into total isolation.
And the consequence is immediate, terrifying. He turns the right peg, and the horse shoots upward like an arrow.
Gone. Soaring above the clouds. But when he tries the left peg, the one that's supposed to bring him down,
Nothing. Nothing happens. And in that moment, he's alone, miles high, realizing he's been completely duped.
it's a huge gut punch. His own protective instincts led him straight into the trap.
But this is where he's forced to transform. He can't rely on his status anymore. He's an isolated hero.
And he's resourceful. He frantically searches the horse's neck, running his hands over it until he finds another peg. The true descending peg.
The one the sage didn't tell him about. He figures it out, a testament to his ingenuity. The horse finally glides down, but not back to Yemen.
No, he's flown so far, so fast, that he lands silently at the imperial palace in Constantinople, the capital of Rum.
That geographic pivot is so important. He's thrown from his familiar world into the heart of another powerful empire.
The sage thought he was getting rid of a rival, but he accidentally delivered the prince to his destiny.
Kamar al-Zaman lands on a palace terrace. It's dark, and he looks through an open window, and he discovers the Princess of Rum.
Described as, what, more beautiful than the moon?
Exactly. She's sleeping on silk, guarded by handmaidens, and the connection is instant.
It is. The text says his heart was lost in a second. It's that undeniable, immediate love you see in these classical tales. It simplifies the motivation for everything that comes next.
She wakes up, she's terrified, of course, but he tells her the story.
And her fear just turns to love. She recognizes his royal bearing. She believes his tale of this magical steed.
And think about the logistics here, the sheer risk. Night after night, he flies from Yemen all the way to Rum, a colossal distance for these stolen hours.
They create a secret aerial corridor between two of the world's most powerful empires.
All while, back in Yemen, the Persian sage is waiting.
In vain, as the text says. He thinks the prince is dead, that the horse carried him to his doom. He's celebrating, thinking Princess Shams al-Nahar is finally his.
But time doesn't stop. Months pass, and the pressure starts to build in Rum.
The emperor, her father, naturally decides it's time for her to marry. He arranges a wedding to a powerful local lord. The window of opportunity for the lovers is closing fast.
The clock is ticking. So on the night of the wedding, with drums and torches everywhere, the ebony horse makes its return.
It's so cinematic. It descends silently onto the roof, a black shadow that no one notices in all the celebration.
Kamar al-Zaman gets to her, rouses her, and they mount the horse together.
And with a turn of that true peg, they just soar into the night sky, leaving an astonished court behind.
They must have felt completely free. They fly until dawn, land in a quiet wilderness to rest. They think they've done it.
But they've forgotten the source of all this, the Persian sage. He's still active, and he uses his dark arts to track the horse's magic.
And just like that, the narrative gets brutally complicated again. The sage appears in a whirlwind of dust.
He casts a sleeping spell on the prince, seizes the Princess of Rum, and carries her straight back to Yemen.
So the villain seems to have won after all. The chase is over, the roles are reversed.
He finally has his prize, or so he thinks. He presents her to the king of Yemen, expecting his long-awaited reward.
The marriage to Shams al-Nahar.
Yes, but the story delivers this brilliant twist.
The king's reaction is just pure greed. He's so dazzled by the Princess of Rum's beauty, he completely changes the deal.
He declares, "No, she shall be mine."
And throws the Persian sage, the very man who brought her to him, into prison.
It's perfect poetic justice, isn't it? The king's own avarice and short-sightedness inadvertently clears the path for the hero by neutralizing the main threat.
It's brilliant. So Kamar al-Zaman wakes up alone, heartbroken. He flies straight back to Yemen on the horse. But he knows he can't just storm the palace. He needs a plan.
So he employs strategy. He disguises himself as a physician.
This shift from prince to clever physician, it shows his versatility.
It really does. He gets into the palace by announcing he can cure the princess of her strange melancholy.
Which is, of course, grief and trauma from being constantly kidnapped.
And the ruse works perfectly. He's led to her chamber, and the moment their eyes meet, her illness just vanishes.
The cure was reunion. Their love is the real power here, not the magic of the horse.
That night, they escape again, flying higher than any bird. But this time, the prince is taking no chances.
No, he takes 3 final decisive actions. First, he seeks out the treacherous Persian sage.
Second, and this is crucial, he destroys the ebony horse itself. The text says specifically to end its danger.
And third, he slays the sorcerer. He doesn't just escape the chaos, he eliminates the source of it.
It's a triumphant ending. It shows his transition into a wise ruler. He returns to Yemen with his bride, is crowned king, and rules long and wisely with her at his side.
And that final line from the source just sums it all up so beautifully. The ebony horse, though born of magic and deceit, ultimately became the chariot that carried true love across the heavens.
That's the whole arc in one sentence. The magic was just a vehicle, an inciting factor. But it was love and Kamar al-Zaman's own ingenuity that actually achieved the happy ending.
So we've tracked this whole journey for you, starting with that feast for wonders at Nowruz. The entire story pivoted on those tiny, deceitful pegs.
And the irony is huge. The king's own greed, imprisoning the sage, is what ultimately helps the prince succeed.
It shows that moral instability just can't stand up against persistent devotion and smart thinking.
Even a journey that starts with a trick can lead you right where you were always meant to go.
Absolutely. And as you mull this over, here's a final thought. Kamar al-Zaman deliberately destroyed the horse after his final escape. What does eliminating the source of both the magic and the danger really signify about his new reign? Does true, effective rule require you to destroy that kind of unstable, unpredictable power, even if it's the very thing that brought you happiness? That's something worth diving into on your own.